You find that you increasingly need to listen to albums more and more to get into them these days. For example, the K's first album, I Wonder If the World Knows. I love that album. It's great. The latest album, Pretty on the Internet. It's a good album, but I've needed to listen a few times to really get into it. Here We Go Again, The Bends, genuinely one of my favourite songs now, but I've needed to listen a few times. Other examples, DMA's How Many Dreams. It is a good album, but I needed to listen a few times to really actually understand it, respect it. Again, Give Me the Future by Bastille. I love that album. It's probably my favourite Bastille album now, but when it first came out, I was like, what was this? I don't know. I've seen this thing called mere exposure effect, and I actually think it happens quite a lot with music, at least for me in recent times, where you almost need to listen to something a little bit to really, The Rise and Fall of the Midwest Princess. I love that. Chapel at her best, but I feel like I needed to listen to it once or twice to really enjoy it, and now I absolutely love it. I constantly see more and more this effect. It's not always the case. For example, I think of Franz Ferdinand. The Human Fear. I think that is probably one of their best albums. I really love that album. I think it's absolutely smashed it out the park. But a lot of the time, I need to listen to albums more than once to actually really get into it. Again, JME Integrity. When I was at uni and I listened to that, I love that, and I love that album. I still love it to this day, and I never questioned it at all. But I just find myself more and more when I listen. And I like to think that I vary. I branch out with music and I try and listen to different things. But more and more with albums coming out, I just think, and maybe it's because it's artists slightly changing the way they create music or whatever. I don't know. Maybe it's I don't know what it is. Maybe it's a social media effect. Maybe it's that dopamine. I really don't know. But at least for me, I find that the more the artists release albums, the slower it is for me to really get into them, to fully appreciate them. Then later down the line, I actually do and think that's really good. Am I alone in this? Is this a common thing, or is it just a me thing? Because I think about it more and more. The more new albums that come out, the more I just think, why don't I like this at first when it comes out? And then, the second or third listen, I go, that's a phenomenal album. But then I'm like, I didn't think that 2 listens ago. Do you know what I mean? Of course, the beauty of music is that it's subjective. What some people like, other people don't like. I totally get that. And again, artists change what they make, and you can't find every album fantastic. That's not how the world works at all. But I just always find myself falling into this effect slowly that I've read up about, and I actually think maybe this is what it is. Maybe I just need a little bit of something to go, actually, I quite like that. I don't know. I don't know if I'm alone on this or not, if it's a common thing, but I find more and more, specifically when I go to more and more gigs, I think, well, actually, I didn't even like that album when it came out, Or it could just be that element of bias where, because you really like that musician and you like their previous music, you almost force yourself to like it, and in the end you go, actually, that was all right, but it might not be. Do you know what I mean?